Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. People didn't believe me. They didn't believe me when I said, yeah, I'm doing surgery on Thursday. I'll be back Friday morning, bright and early. They're like, no. Not from... No.
Oh.
They don't understand who they're dealing with, Jeffy. They don't. They don't understand.
To be fair.
Yes, to be fair.
I mean, what'd they do? Go in and remove a couple of little stones and moved on?
Yes, they did. They broke them up. I don't know if it was with a laser or some kind of sound waves.
With the chisel.
But they go in through your opening.
Yes.
The urethra.
You only have so many openings.
But put you out completely. Go in through the opening, break them up, and then nature does the rest.
This was not spleen stones or...
No, these were a combination of kidney and spleen stones.
Yeah.
Yes. And non-existent appendix stones. So, had to come out.
But it's all good.
It's all good.
Are you drinking enough fluids?
I'm trying to. I mean, I drink water probably more than any other living human. Fish don't drink as much water as I do.
I think that's not true.
Fish don't. They can't compete with my water drinkage. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, all right?
I feel like that's not true, but okay.
President Trump has promised retribution in 2024, and of course, Democrats are going out of their minds over this. I think it's so great that he said, because this should act as a deterrent. Okay, how about if we start doing this to you every single time? How about if a Republican president sicks his Justice Department on Democrats all day, every day?
Yeah.
How about that? And he's probably going to have to because of Biden anyway, because Biden is such a corrupt douche. But he promised his supporters that his reelection to the presidency would mean revenge on Joe Biden and the Democrat Party for his ever-increasing legal troubles. Wow. He said, look, it's not my fault that my political opponent in the Democrat Party, crooked Joe Biden, has told his attorney general to charge the leading, by far, Republican nominee and former president of the United States, me, with as many crimes as can be concocted, so that he is forced to spend large amounts of time and money to defend himself, argued Trump on Truth Social. The Dems don't want to run against me, or they would not be doing this unprecedented weaponization of justice. But soon, in 2024, it'll be our turn. MAGA.
I mean, I hope that's true.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I hope that's true.
I actually do too, because they deserve it. First of all, they deserve it. Second, it serves them right. So there you go.
Yes.
On Tuesday, Trump was, of course, indicted on the federal charges. He's got 78 against him now. 561 years in prison is what he faces.
He went before the magistrate yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did he plead not guilty?
He did.
Okay.
Whew. Yeah, close.
Okay.
That was a close one. Yeah. Did you think he was going to just say...
Well, I psychically, yesterday, I said he's...
Lock me up now.
Probably going to plead not guilty.
Yes.
I mean, I saw a vision.
And
but
he
I didn't
did.
know that. Okay, good.
Uh-huh. So your vision was accurate.
Good.
He pled not guilty. 78 charges, 561 years, apparently.
Stop it.
And
Stop it.
They could even throw in the death penalty because during the commission of this crime, people died, and you could be executed for that. Is that amazing?
Boy, they would love that, wouldn't they?
Oh my gosh!
But he's never going to he's never going to be executed because Biden has stopped federal executions. So he'd have to re-up federal executions.
That's true.
And he would.
He would for this.
He would for that.
Yeah. We can make one exception, and then we're right back.
You're darn right he would.
It's so pathetic.
His crimes are too heinous.
Yeah, right.
Not to.
Right. How do you charge him with these latest charges? I don't even understand. The guy can't express himself anymore? Is that...
No.
You can't say this was a fraudulent election. If you believe that, you can't say that? Well, of course you can. Of course you can. You can't try to overturn it by, I don't know, did he bring a gun to the Capitol building and try to force the Congress people out of the building?
He may as well have.
Yeah, jeez. I mean, he didn't say go get him. He didn't say sick him. He didn't say go riot at the Capitol building. He didn't say any of that stuff. He said go down there and make your voice heard. Be peaceful. He did tell them that. So how do you make this stick? How?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I don't know the answer to that.
It's crazy. It's not America.
I mean, I find it difficult to believe that these charges were even brought.
I do too.
Yeah, they brought in Jack Smith, who was there in the courtroom yesterday, but he wasn't one of the attorneys.
Oh, okay.
But he was there, and apparently his parents were there too.
Jack Smith's parents?
So they wanted to see their son, I guess, sit in the front row of the courtroom.
That's great.
Make history with Donald Trump at the defense table.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
Did they get some selfies with Trump?
I don't know if they did or not. I don't know. I hope so.
Trump
I hope
and
so.
Jack.
It'd be a shame if they showed up and didn't get those selfies.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it really would. Be upset about that. Also, anytime you want to get a hold of us during the course of the day, 888-900-3393 is the number to call while we're on the air. But Pat Unleashed on X.
Yeah, don't be
just
dead
feel
naming.
stupid saying that, don't you? Are you comfortable calling it X
I'm
now?
all in on X.
All in. Okay.
All in on X.
Good. Well, that's just who you are. You know, you roll with the flow.
Jeffy JFR.
Just
all in on X.
How you roll. Pat Unleashed on X, Instagram, and Threads. Let's see, 3 weeks from now we're going to do we've got another of the conspiracy shows. Yeah, last Friday of each month, and this one will be the Young Earth Theory.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm very excited about it.
That's fun.
A fun one.
Yes.
Young Earth, meaning the Earth is only 7,000 years old as opposed to 4.5 billion. Just a little bit of a time differential there.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
And they also believe, by the way, so is the universe.
7,000 I kind of feel like, I had a conversation with someone yesterday in this very building that thought that that's kind of a cop-out.
Why?
Well, this person is going down the flat Earth road.
Yeah.
And
they're believing the flat Earth theory?
They're going down the road.
No, stop it. Somebody in this building is going down the flat Earth road.
I had a long conversation with them yesterday, thanks to our episode here on Pat Gray Unleashed and my interview on Chewing the Fat.
No.
So they're going down that road, and he was telling me that he believed that, because I said, well, they really didn't. I didn't ask them about the flat Earth when we were over there, but they did say that God created everything, right? I mean, their timeline is
created the
so
heavens
we're not
and the
as
earth.
old as we are, but yes,
right.
The universe that we have, He created that.
Yeah,
and so the out on that is that it's kind of a cop out.
kind of a
cop out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, God created that too. So
I think that it kind of makes sense. If He created the earth, then obviously created the rest of what we see.
Yeah,
right?
but if you're the flat Earth,
if
you're part of the flat Earth people, then we are the center, right?
Well, yes, that's true. Yeah, and everything's really close. Now, I don't think
the outer lands.
Do the young Earth believers think that we
have the outer lands?
The stars are close because they would have to, wouldn't they? Otherwise, it would take. Okay, so
they're not as old. He said they're not as old as we think,
far
right?
Away
yeah,
to have gotten here in 7,000 years. That can't happen in 7,000 years,
right?
If you believe in the dimensions I believe in, then it takes millions of years to get here from wherever they are.
Right.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. So yeah. Also, this is kind of cool. We're going to have 2 supermoons this month. We just had one the other night.
One, yeah.
And then I think the 30th or 31st, there's going to be an even better one. They call that a blue moon when it happens twice in a month. So the blue supermoon happens at the end of the month. And you talk about these objects being close. Man, it looked close the other night. Didn't it?
It sure did.
The moon, at least from our vantage point in Texas, it was kind of low on the horizon, and it was gigantic. gigantic and bright like crazy.
You'd think that if we actually landed on the moon, you'd be able to see the flag, but we can't. So,
well, you need binoculars. Get a pair of binoculars. You'll be able to see it.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be good. So, but it really is only 222,000 miles from the Earth right now. So that's when you get your supermoon, is when it's really close and full. So we'll see. Also, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a podcast review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Pat Gray Unleashed on podcast, Spotify, iTunes, blazetv.com/Pat. And you can take care of all of those things at once. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken claims that climate change is worse than the threat we face from nuclear war. So
it's good that he's our Secretary of State.
Isn't that good? Yeah, that's really good.
We've got some great people in charge in this administration, and it makes you feel good.
Doesn't it?
It does.
The threat of nuclear annihilation is no more serious than the threat of climate change, according to Blinken. Blinken's critics argue that Washington is risking nuclear war by arming Ukraine, but that doesn't matter because that's not a big deal. In an appearance on 60 Minutes Australia, Blinken was asked whether nuclear war or climate change represented the greater threat to humanity. Well, you can't, I think, have a hierarchy. There are some things that are front and center, including potential conflict, but there's no doubt that climate represents an existential challenge to all of us. No, there is doubt of that. So for us, this is the existential challenge of our times, he continued. Doesn't mean that in the meantime, there are not severe challenges to the international order like Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Thank you for throwing that one in because, jeez. It's nice to at least consider an actual legitimate threat to our nation, especially if you're, I don't know, the Secretary of State. That's really big of you to consider actual, real things while you're at it. Let me tell you about your liver, okay? Because right now, your liver is being bombarded with all kinds of stuff. Things like cholesterol, alcohol, toxins, Tylenol, statins, cigarettes. None of these things are good for your liver. The American Liver Foundation says that 100 million Americans have fatty liver. That's why so many of us are sluggish. We gain weight. We lose energy, all of that. For decades now, your liver has helped you with over 500 key functions every day. 500 a day. It's time to help your liver. There is a solution. It's called Liver Health Formula. You can try Liver Health Formula, this great supplement. It has 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. Plus, right now, you'll also receive a free bottle of nano-powered omega-3 to keep your heart healthy. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Pat and claim your free bonus gift. Getliverhelp.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, so yesterday, Devon Archer was speaking again. This is from yesterday, not the day before, right?
I think this is the day before with Hunter. Hunter released an interview with him. Yeah.
All right, yeah, day before yesterday, he said Biden knew businessmen were present during the Hunter calls. Here's what he said. Cut number one.
Biden, then the sitting vice president, knew that there were Hunter's business associates in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew there were business associates, and he, or if I was there, I was a business associate too. So I think, or if, any of the other colleagues from the DC office or the New York office were there. So yeah, at times there were from the, to be, completely clear on the calls. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was an orchestrated call in or not. It certainly was powerful though, because, if you're sitting with a foreign business person and you hear the vice president's voice, that's prize enough. I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would think so, right?
You would think so.
It certainly wouldn't hurt your business call, would it? Wait, was that the vice president? Yeah, that is the vice president. How do you know? Well, because he can't pronounce words and he can't put a sentence together. That's how we know. He talks like this. Okay.
That's how we know. That's how we know.
Yeah, unmistakable.
That's how we know. We showed yesterday a letter that he wrote to Devon.
Okay.
Thanking him for, hey, sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you at some meeting. Yeah, here it is. And, hey, sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I'm glad that you and Hunter are together. Weird. But then I don't know if it's his secretary or himself that typed it up, but they spelled Devon's name wrong. Dear Devon.
Oh, with an I instead of an O at the end?
So, that's how we know that it's President Biden right there.
There you go.
He can't even print names correctly.
Right. In fact, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to play 20 of the dumbest things he's ever said for you. The top 20 of the dumbest / weirdest / biggest lies / gaffes. It's really hard to categorize
Are
them.
they the dumbest?
/ it's going to be subjective because obviously you could come up with a different numbering system.
That's fun, though.
It's very fun.
It's sad.
Yeah, but
it's fun.
See where you would rank these things. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes.
That's awesome.
Because I can't wait. Devon Archer also claimed Hunter called Biden to help sell the brand.
Well, yeah, that's the deal, right? It's powerful that the vice president is going to show up or be on the phone call. That's the brand, right?
Yep. Here he is talking about it.
This now, Jillian. This is intriguing to our viewers at home. Archer tells the House investigators that Hunter Biden put then VP Biden on a speakerphone more than 20 times to sell, quote, the brand, in parentheses, in business conversations. And Chad goes on to say
this
that
wasn't
Archer
in the actual interview?
that there was a value of adding Hunter
first of all,
Biden to Burisma's board.
Pause it for a second.
Fox won't play the Hunter audio or video from X. Fox only reacts to what he said in the...
But Sean Hannity, they shouldn't have any trouble with his interview, right? Wasn't this in the Sean Hannity interview? The first cut was. Oh, it was Tucker. Oh,
yeah.
Why am I thinking? Huh? Where did they get Sean Hannity out of that? That's why they're not. Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah, they won't touch.
Yeah, they won't touch the
Tucker at all. So, which is why they were.
So this is why he's talking about them
and
talking.
They're
about
also
it.
hell bent on having the transcripts released from his hearing, because then they can quote the transcripts and they don't have to worry about the
makes sense.
The Tucker interview,
right? Because they're petty.
But that's not what.
But yeah, this. He talked about. Run it back a little bit, if you would, and let's see the rest of this.
To Burisma's board was the brand. Burisma is the energy company out of Ukraine. The argument was that then Vice President Joe Biden brought the most value to the brand. There's that phrase yet again.
There it is.
Archer also stated that Burisma would have gone under if not for the brand. Wow. In December of 2015, the owner of Burisma, gentleman, the CEO who ran the company, placed constant pressure on Hunter Biden to get help from Washington, D.C. regarding the Ukrainian prosecutor, Viktor Shokin.
Okay. All right. Also, apparently Devon Archer said Hunter was an expert in knowing the guy.
The initial idea around the business, they were going to provide, the government insight and an additional network to raise capital and then, deal with regulatory issues that you might have at the corporate level.
Right. Regulatory issues.
Exactly.
Okay, so that would be more his area.
Right, that would be his space.
Right. But did he have a sophisticated understanding of regulation, do you think?
I think that he led a team that had a sophisticated...
Okay, because I lived in Washington a long time, around a lot of regulation. Also, a very complex area.
Absolutely. I think you got to be an expert in knowing the guy, and he was the guy that was the expert in knowing the guy.
Yeah. He was an expert in knowing the guy.
Right.
And who was the guy he knew?
Well, he knew a lot of people, but obviously there was some familiar, his brother, his father, some of his father's siblings. So he knew a lot of people. And obviously I know you're pointing to, the father being the key relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm just trying to get a sense of, like, Washington's not a money town.
Right.
People aren't in business in Washington for the most part, and most people don't have business skills that I've noticed in 30 years of living there. So really the business of Washington is selling access. That's what it looked like to me. Not just under Biden, but like
I think that's one of the core misconceptions. I mean, it seems like when understanding a regulatory environment means selling access at the end of the day. That's how I interpret it, and I think that's how most people in Wall Street, whether they admit it or not, interpret it.
Yeah. So we've got a complex business that intersects with government. We need a guy who knows it.
Right. How do I, deal with getting a guy a visa that needs to come over for a business deal? Right. Call our lobbyist that knows the guy in DHS or used to work in DHS or, in Customs and Border Patrol or the people at the embassy and state. They might be able to help. So there are very tactical elements that are regulatory and compliance and governance that you have to go through, and you got to know the guy that worked at the old agency that now has the lobbying firm that can go back to the agency and get things put to the front of the line.
Okay. Then he also talked about the letter he got from Joe Biden, which I think we just showed you.
We showed you the letter, yeah.
Showed you the letter,
but Devon talks about it here, right?
Here's what he says.
We found this letter kind of amazing. It's from January 20th, 2011, which I think puts you in your late 30s, mid to late 30s. Right. Okay, so you're a younger man. This is from the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, to you personally, and it's personalized here at the bottom. Devon Archer, Rosemont Seneca Partners, that was your partnership with Hunter Biden in Georgetown. Dear Devon, I apologize for not getting a chance to talk to you at the luncheon yesterday. I was having trouble getting away from hosting President Hu Jintang, who was running China at that point. I hope I get a chance to see you again soon with Hunter. I hope you enjoyed lunch. Thanks for coming. Sincerely, Joseph R. Biden Jr. P.S. Handwritten, happy you guys are together. So there are many levels here. But here's the Vice President of the United States saying to you, a man in his mid-30s, who's not a government official, I'm sorry I was occupied with the guy who runs the world's largest country. I would much rather talk to you, and thank you. What was he thanking you for?
Well, first of all, it's a lovely letter, and it was...
It's quite enthusiastic. It's a little weird, though, right?
Yeah, well, it was kind of the beginning of our partnership, and he was thanking me and thanking Hunter, I think, at the end of the day for bringing this idea of this government regulatory strategic advisory business into the private equity world. And I think he was excited about the prospects for Hunter, and, he was just thanking me. I think it was a nice gesture.
See, Devon is a friend of Hunter's, and I think he still is a friend of Hunter's.
Yes,
and
I think so too.
He's trying to save.
And he's soft pedaling this a little bit.
He's trying to save his friend Hunter as much as possible. It's not going to work.
And maybe Joe too. He might be trying to look out for him a little bit. Although he's telling the truth, apparently. I don't know. Who knows with any of this stuff? But he also talked about Hunter calling his dad abuse of soft power.
You've got a lot of kids. You're close to them. Do you call them on speaker during business meetings?
Do I call?
I mean, what is that? A grown man calling his dad on a speakerphone during a business meeting?
Right. And to be clear, sometimes the call was coming in and the speaker would go on. So it's just the president. You have to be. I mean, you understand DC, right? So the power to have that access in that conversation, and it's not in a scheduled conference call, and it's a part of your family. That's like the pinnacle of power. In
it's
DC.
My dad, the
100%.
vice president.
I guess I'm pivoting against the lie that I'm hearing people tell with a straight face. Congressman Goldman, for example, that we don't really know what was going on. Really? You're taking a call from the vice president and you put it on speaker. It's not just, hey, Dad, I'm in a meeting with some buddies.
I can't talk right now.
Let me put my dad, the vice president, on speaker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. In the rear view, it's an abuse of soft power, I'd say.
No doubt about that.
An abuse of soft power, or a soft abuse of power, something like that. I think he phrased that a little improperly, but still, you get the idea. He was abusing his power.
Yes.
In a soft way.
In a soft way.
In a soft way. Okay. That's pretty interesting. It wasn't so soft when he told him either you fire Shokin or you're not getting your $1 billion in aid.
Well, I mean,
that was not soft.
Once he became vice president, I mean, he was a made man then.
Yeah.
That gave him the juice.
For sure.
I mean, he was the guy then. And so even just that's the thing, right? It was, look, it's my dad. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. Hey, Dad. Oh, is that the vice president of the United States? Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah, he just wanted to tell you that it's raining in Washington, D.C. right now.
That's right.
It's a little bit humid. The barometric pressure is 31.28 and falling, and he just wanted you to know that.
Hey, if you're not coming to town today, don't worry about bringing your umbrella. But if you are coming to town, bring your umbrella because it's raining.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're in Ukraine or you're in China, whoever we're talking to right now, I can't keep them. I can't keep track of them. So I don't know that you're on your way here today anyway. But I could give you the extended forecast if you think you need that, or my dad can. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's going to be raining heavily if I don't get that suitcase to cover my head.
Yeah, right. That suitcase full of cash to cover my head and my bank account. Interesting.
Really interesting.
I mean, are they going to get away with this?
I don't know. It feels, I mean,
I sure hope
in
not.
the old days, and I clearly live in those days, no way, right? I mean, it's not going to happen. But I hope so. I know there's always the but, and I hope that maybe McCarthy has the sense to let's impeach him now. I mean, there's no reason to stop this now. I don't know why it hasn't happened. There's plenty of documentation and evidence to impeach him right now.
Yes, which we should be doing we should be impeaching him right now. And I keep hearing people say, "Oh, Glenn said it the other day." Well, we don't have the Senate. I know. Neither did they. So impeach him. And
what?
But then you put that pressure on the Senate.
Yes.
And then who knows what could happen? You know, who knows? Maybe get a couple of honest brokers in the Democrat Party to thrust this guy out of office.
Run him off.
Certainly should be out of office.
Yes, but absolutely. He can go sleep on the beach and not be president.
They did it twice to Donald Trump for no reason. They had no evidence. They couldn't make anything stick. Nothing ever stuck. In fact, we found out later it was all totally bogus. And now that's why they're throwing in more charges now, because whatever they can possibly think of, they're going to charge him with. Well, okay, here's your chance to
please
actually show some evidence, though. Too, there is evidence that Biden is in this up to his eyeballs, but I don't know. We'll see if it happens. I keep hearing him mention it every once in a while. They're just not doing it.
That's right. They're just not doing it. We've had our press conferences. We've had our hearings. We go on talk shows. We have our talking head squares up talking about how bad he is and the evidence that we were told and saw. Yep. And we're all on top of it and rah, rah, rah. But nothing happens.
Ever.
Nothing happens.
So frustrating. So very, very frustrating. And we can't let the Republicans get away with it either. Republicans, we've got to hold their feet to the fire. We should be calling their offices on a daily basis and demanding that they get this done. Do it. Okay? The American people demand it. You work for us. We don't work for you. It's the other way around. So get it done, will you please?
That's funny.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's funny.
It is funny. I know it feels stupid just saying it now. It feels naive. You know?
It does.
It feels naive to say that.
Does you work for us, really?
I mean, technically, it's true, but in reality, not so much.
Not so much. I know.
Now, things would be different. Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Things would be different if they had to work out of their own district.
Agreed.
Then you can pay them a little visit.
Agreed. You would. Right.
Hello, Senator Bob. I had some things to say to you.
Right.
You know, peacefully, of course, but forcefully. I've got some strongly worded words for you. All right, more Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets, X's, whichever way you want to go with it. Micah 6'8" is enough. Tweets. Let's see. Sorry to hear you're no longer stoned. Oh, I see. The kidney stone.
Get it?
Yeah. No, you're no longer stoned. There you go.
Thank you.
Sergeant Giblets of the Airborne. Twitter has gotten to the point where I'm just blocking every ad. Brandished finger guns. Pat, I hope you're having Dr. Jason Lyle, astrophysicist with Creation Research Institute. If you want to talk about the Earth and star distance, it's kind of his specialty. I don't know. We did reach out to him.
Okay, good. I mean, we talked to, the stuff that we aired on Overtime for this show from there. There was a lot of stuff that happened after the camera shut off that were really fascinating.
Yes.
And so I don't know, and I don't know how much we can talk about or can't talk about, but there was some things that they're working on that's really fascinating. And I just we had. Can we talk about the fish?
I don't know. Can
we talk about the fish?
I briefly mentioned it as well, kind of like you're beating around the bush right now, but they adapt. Fish adapt. And presumably, so do humans.
Right.
And so rather than evolve over millions of years, these adaptations happen in days or months. It's incredible. And it
really is.
It's worth going through the tour. It's really fun. Let's see. Bunter Hayden, crack cocaine connoisseur. Fox News is Bud Lighting themselves. Yep.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Indeed, they are.
They kind of are.
Yeah, they just lost, too, the other night to MSNBC. Did you see that? That almost never happens, but it did.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. MSNBC kicked them.
Oh.
Right where they live.
Maddow?
Yeah.
Was she back?
She was number
this
one.
time she was pissed because she's only back a few days.
Right.
She's not back every day, so when Rachel comes back,
She's
it's
pissed.
a big deal.
It is. And she was the number one show on cable television. I think that was Wednesday night, Tuesday night, one of those.
That hurts.
Hungry, hangry. That's the John Fetterman quote. At least part of it. Fox hosts have to be losing their minds not being able to mention anything Tucker does.
That's what's being reported.
Mm-hmm.
They were losing their minds that they couldn't use this, any of the audio from the Devon Archer interview, and which is why they lobbied so heavy and got the transcript from the hearing so that they at least could reference Devon Archer and the transcript.
Makes sense. Rowdy Introvert tweets, that's weird. If I receive an important call during dinner, I generally excuse myself from the table and hold the conversation some distance away. Well, yeah, but that's, polite society.
And you're not in the middle of a board meeting, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the middle of a board meeting, you're taking the call.
Thank you, Jeffy. Yeah, no matter who it is. It just happened to be his dad over 20 times.
That's it, though.
Amazing coincidence there. Carl Smith, Joe and Hunter weren't doing anything wrong. They're just pushing public-private partnerships. Yeah, the wonderful PPPs. Absolutely. You down with PPP? Yeah, you know me. Or something like that. All right. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. You know what's agonizing is, in addition to Donald Trump being accused and charged with all of the previous allegations that they lumped on him, now they've got the January 6th stuff again that they're going through. Oh. And is there a specific thing that you can point to that says, yep, that's where he did it. That's where he yelled, go get him. Bring that whole thing down. Go kill somebody. Hey, you know what we should do is hang Mike Pence. He didn't do any of that. So I don't know how this is going to, how this would result in, a conviction. of Donald Trump.
And it's fortunate for the government, and the luck of the draw, that the judge that's going to be presiding over the case is an Obama appointee, worked at the same law firm that Hunter worked at. It's thrown, put a January 6th defendants in prison, even when the prosecution has said, no, they don't deserve prison time. She said, go ahead, throw them in jail. So it's just the luck of the draw for the government that they got
that's
her.
all it was. That's all it is.
I mean, woof.
We got to play this for you because, it's obviously against the law to say anything about a U.S. election outcome. You can't talk about it. You can't say anything. Well, you can say how free and fair it was. You can say that. You can say it was the freest and fairest of all time.
You can.
You can claim that you got together the biggest fraud organization in history to oversee it. But you can't say it's illegitimate. Well, if you have an R after your name, you can't say that. But here's some people with D's after their names who said quite a few things about fraudulent or illegitimate elections. Watch this.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
Wait, what? Look at this, 12 minutes. We won't have time for the whole thing, but 12 minutes of it.
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about.
That's a real thing.
Rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you, fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate?
And there's Biden encouraging it.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see the president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Do you believe Trump is an illegitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference.
There absolutely is a cloud of illegitimacy.
So that legitimacy is in question, yes.
So that was a very tainted election. And in that sense, it's illegitimate.
Why do you think the president is going to such great lengths to essentially prove that he beat you?
Because he knows he didn't. He knows he's an illegitimate president.
Stolen emails, stolen drone, stolen election. Welcome to the world of unprecedented Trump.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
Frankly, the FBI is weighing in on the election. I think makes his election illegitimate.
There was a widespread understanding that this election was not on the level. We still don't know what really happened, Isaac. I mean,
wait, what?
There's just a lot that I think will be revealed, history will discover. But you don't win by 3 million votes and have all this other shenanigan stuff going on and not come away with an idea like, whoa, something's not right here.
The outcome of the election was affected by their interference, and now we need to know, to what degree, if any, the Trump campaign was actually in collusion with with Russia.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. So of course he's obsessed with me. And I believe that it's a guilty conscience.
We actually won the last presidential election, folks. They stole the last presidential election.
And Al Gore won that election. I think he won it anyway.
Actually, I think I carried Florida.
Bush versus Gore. A court took away a presidency.
If all the votes were counted in Florida, that Al Gore would be president today and George Bush would be back in office.
I come from Florida, where you and others participated in what I call the United States coup d'etat.
There's no doubt in my mind that Al Gore was elected president.
I rise to object to the fraudulent 25 Florida electoral votes.
I must object because of the overwhelming evidence of official misconduct, deliberate fraud, and an attempt to suppress voter turnout.
It is signed by myself on behalf of my diverse constituents
I mean,
and
this
the millions
goes
of
on
Americans
and
who have
on
been
and on and
disenfranchised
on.
by
Florida's inaccurate vote count.
The Supreme Court, not the people of the United States, decided this election.
Speaking to a Democratic group in Chicago Tuesday, he made it clear he thinks Al Gore was the winner.
By the time it was over, our candidate had won the popular vote, and the only way they could win the election was to stop the voting in Florida.
Catherine Harris, Jeb Bush, Jim Baker, and the Supreme Court hadn't tampered with the results, Al Gore would be president.
The Supreme Court elected the president. 2004, yes. Al Gore won the state of Florida in 2000, although not the presidency.
But the Supreme Court tampered? That's a large charge. The Supreme Court stopped the counting of the votes, and if they let the count go on, Al Gore would have got the necessary votes.
The Supreme Court selected
not elected.
George W. Bush
right.
as the president.
Selected,
he was
not
not elected.
There is overwhelming evidence that George W. Bush did not win this election.
What I observed as a voter, as a citizen of Illinois 4 years ago, were troubling evidence of the fact that not every vote was being counted.
Look at his hair color back then.
I know. George W. Bush won the election in 2000.
Look at his hair color back then.
Anyway. I think that he probably lost Florida and also that nationwide.
If you invite me back on this show in about 8 weeks, I think you're going to learn that Al Gore actually did get all the votes there.
The court has been thwarting the formation of the popular will. The most spectacular example being Bush versus Gore, where the majority by a 5-4 vote joined the counting of more than 100,000 ballots in Florida and essentially
this
gave
is only the
America
12-minute one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. President.
There's a 24-minute version, by the way.
I think
24 minutes of this.
Well, he did win the election, Al Gore.
After the election, when you stole the election, you came back here and said, get over it. No, we're not going to get over it.
You know it, I know it, they know it. We won that election.
Constantly shifting vote tallies in Ohio and malfunctioning electronic machines which may not have paper receipts, have led to additional loss of confidence by the public.
The right to vote has been stolen from qualified voters.
In 2004, the democratic process was thwarted.
The 2004 presidential election in Ohio was riddled with unnecessary problems.
Every time they lose, this is what they do.
Wow. To be counted more than once, or not at all.
How many of these people are going to be charged? How many? Face 561 years in prison.
And misconduct. I join with my colleagues in objecting to counting the state of Ohio's electoral votes.
As in 2000, the votes of many who wanted to vote were not, in fact, counted.
Last Friday night, I arranged to meet Senator Kerry at a fundraiser to give him a copy of my book. He told me he now thinks the election was stolen.
The wife of John Kerry said she has lingering doubts about the legitimacy of the election. Her theory goes like this. Two brothers, she calls hard right Republicans, own 80% of the voting machines in the U.S. Therefore, it would be easy to hack into the mother machines that control the electronic
all the things
voting.
There were
Trump was
numerous irregularities in
about
Ohio, including large percentages of rejections of provisional balloting, problems with voting machines.
As we look at our election system, I think it's fair to say that there are many legitimate questions about its accuracy,
Not today, there isn't.
about its integrity.
There are still legitimate concerns over the integrity of our elections.
Are there? Obviously, is how many instances we're not caught that we don't know about. Number one, we've seen a lot of honest glitches.
They can say whatever they want. Whatever they want.
A dishonest
and it's never a problem.
Or a dishonest employee of a local board of elections, or simply someone who knows electronics and has a computer at home. Could hack into these machines and
this is what happens when you have the media on your side.
Democratic vote, or add 10% to the Kerry or to the Bush vote or whatever, and you might not ever know it.
I agree with tens of millions of Americans who are very worried that when they cast the ballot on an electronic voting machine, that there is no paper trail to record that vote.
The numerous irregularities that occurred with the electronic voting machines in Ohio on November the 2nd of last year point to an unresolved national crisis.
We cannot declare that the election of November 2nd, 2004 was free and clear and transparent.
and real. There must be independent testing of the voting machines used in Ohio.
I'm not confident that the election
Did those
in
voting
Ohio
machines
was fairly
sue
decided.
any of these
we know
Democrats?
That there was
I don't think so.
substantial voter suppression, and the machines
Or
were
did
not
they sue
reliable.
The members of Congress
MSNBC
who have
or
brought this
CNN?
challenge
No.
are speaking up for their aggrieved constituents, many of whom may have been disenfranchised in this process.
Treating today's electoral vote count in Congress as a meaningless ritual would be an insult to our democracy unless we registered our own protest against the obviously flawed voting process that took place in so many of our states.
Voters who wish to cast a vote for president or vice president can't approach the polls with certainty that their vote will be counted.
One of the most significant problems in Ohio and in many other states was the lack of measures to ensure the integrity of electronic voting machines.
In 2004, caused Democratic voters in Ohio to wait for 8 hours before they could cast their ballot. They turned the Department of Civil Rights and the Justice Department into the voter suppression division with voter ID laws, voter purges, voter intimidation, election stealings.
And despite the final tally and the inauguration and the situation we find ourselves in, I do have one.
All right, I think we get the idea.
Man, no kidding.
I mean, I let it go for a while because I just developed hiccups while I'm on the air.
Really? Did you hold your breath during something?
I've held my breath. I've done all my little
Did you close your
tricks
eyes?
that normally
Did you
work.
close your eyes and think of an elephant?
No.
Hold your breath. Close your eyes. Think of an elephant dancing across the way in front of you. They're gone now, aren't they? Perfect.
No, he's right there.
Perfect.
I see him right there.
No, I'm talking about the hiccups.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the elephant. No, okay. No, still there, obviously. So is the elephant. They're both still there. Damn. Thought that was going to work.
You know.
Yeah. It's a good thing we don't fat shame on this show, isn't it?
That's what I'm
saying. It's a good thing I won't bite it.
Don't you have a commercial? I can't do it. I got the hiccups.
Oh, my gosh.
I got the hiccups.
I do, actually. Real estate agents I trust. Next time, you have to do something important. Like, I don't know, take a flight somewhere. You're not going to build your own plane. Why do you try to do that kind of stuff when it comes to real estate? You need somebody who knows what they're doing. It's absolutely critical that you have the best agent you can get. That's why Glenn started this company a few years ago. Because, he dealt with all the things that go with buying and selling homes. So that's why Real Estate Agents I Trust deals with only the best agents.
RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
Yeah. The ones that don't get the hiccups in the middle of...
they might, though. You don't know that.
Yeah, it's possible, but I doubt it. But go there. Go to RealestateAgentsITrust.com. All right. Beautiful.
All right, we got the best of Biden's, right? We got the best of Biden coming up, the worst, or the best, worst,
the dumbest things he's ever said, /
It's just going to be tough, man.
Weirdest.
Because
it is hard. I had a hard time.
It's got to be more than 20.
I'm sure
we're only giving you 20.
There's going to be, yeah. We could have been 2,000. We'll get to that coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
All right. Yes, sir. It's always worth the wait, isn't it?
A little birtation going on?
Yeah, a little birtation.
Okay. It's all right, though.
Got birtations going on all over the place right now. Got some tweets here as well. Lindsay Stiltner tweets homesick today, and the only thing that makes the morning better is watching Pat, Jeffy on the Blaze.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
That's so nice.
Thank you, Lindsay. Call it like I see it. Tweets or X's. Jeffy, the reason the Republicans haven't impeached Biden yet is because they're Republicans. They suffer from a testicular deficiency.
Well,
that's very, very true.
It's time to butch up a little.
Sure is. Jonokio Biden. Oh, I like that. Jonokio Biden. That's good. If an elected representative can't do 2 push-ups, balance their checkbook, and walk half a mile within an hour, they shouldn't be in office.
I mean, let's not go too far.
Why not?
Let's not go too. That's asking a lot.
That is. Yeah, it is. Stoned conservative tweets. The Dems are embarrassed by Biden and don't want him to run in 24. Republicans suck at playing the game. The Senate would probably dive on impeachment proceedings to get him out. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in that.
I'd like to at least attempt to see what happens.
Yes. Start the ball rolling.
Please.
Impeach him, and then we'll go from there. The lone snoober. Do you think Mexico would take back California if we asked them nicely? From Daniel.
They already
US.
have it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pat, why wouldn't God create stars with age? After all, Adam was created as a man and not a baby. Well, yeah, but, yes, they could. He could, I suppose. But the light, it's the light reaching us. That shows you how old they are, right? Because when they're, trillions of miles
we're seeing
away.
stars now that they're saying are 22, 23 billion, right?
Yeah, or more. Light years away. Yeah. That's light years. So light travels, I think it's 6 trillion miles in a year. So you multiply 6 trillion by a billion, and you have how far something is away from
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'll do that later. I don't want to show off right now. Sandra Hill, after seeing the clip you played of Jerry Nadler, I think Jeffy might have some company being stuck between the moon and New York City.
There was one shot of Jerry where he's at the desk on MSNBC, and all I could think of was, no way he got up on that chair himself.
Right. Yeah, I know.
There's not a chance that happened.
There's that poo-poo pants video, too, that we've
played.
We should have that.
Holy cow.
We should have that on standby.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, man. Where he's scooting out of the picture because he's...
Really bad.
Real bad. It looks like he pooped his pants.
It does, man. It really does.
Then we've got Pace, shock. Jimmy Carter needs a nose hair trimmer. I hate that. That's really gross.
Well, he's 100. Leave him alone.
He literally is almost, right?
Leave him alone. Yes.
When does he turn 100? I think he's 98. So
Jimmy Carter?
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, we were just looking. Dianne Feinstein. Feinstein, whatever, the esteemed senator from California.
Stein, potato. Let's send the whole group of them home.
She just turned 90.
Yeah.
And she has now, we're getting reports, relinquished power of attorney to her daughter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she relinquished power of attorney to her daughter.
Her 66-year-old daughter, by the way.
But she won't relinquish her seat in the Senate, in the United States Senate, where important decisions are being made for 330 million people. Well, in the rest of the world. I mean, geez, that is...
Jimmy Carter was born in 1924. So.
Yeah, he's 98.
So,
going on 99.
Yeah. So Dianne just turned 90. Mm-hmm. Chuck Grassley from Iowa, who's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he seems fine.
He turns 90 in September.
Fine, but, okay.
Whoa.
I don't know about fine.
He's
but
fine.
For 90, he's spry.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Then next in line is...
I don't know. We got Bernie.
Yeah.
All right, we got Bernie, who's in his 80s.
Yeah, we've got people that are older than that.
I don't know, how old is Nancy now?
Now, see, here's the weird thing. He just gave me... Nancy Pelosi is in her 80s.
Okay.
81, I think.
Right there.
Right. Right here?
No, keep going.
Keep going. Right. Okay. Jeez, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so next it's Grace Napolitano, who's 86. She's a House member from California.
I don't know that I know Grace.
Bill Pascrell Jr. is 85, House member from New Jersey, and Eleanor Holmes Norton, 85, representative of the House of Representatives, and she's from D.C. So there you go. Wow. Then you have the wonderful Bernie Sanders is 81. You've got Biden, who's 80, going to be 81 in November.
A lot of 70s on this list.
Yeah, way too many.
A lot of 70s on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that age is relative. Mm-hmm. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of 70s.
Sure are.
And these are the same. A lot of these 70s, they're not going to relinquish any of their power.
This goes all the way down to the youngest, let's say the youngest the five youngest members of the House of Representatives. Mark Wayne Mullen is 45. He's from Oklahoma. Missouri's Josh Hawley, who's 43. Katie Britt is 40 from Alabama. J.D. Vance is 38. And John Ossoff is 35 years old from the state of Georgia. Oh, those are senators, yeah.
Wow,
okay,
when Ossoff goes into office, man, he's got to be like he's going into a nursing home.
When Ossoff?
Yeah, the 35-year-old.
He must think that, yeah.
Holy cow.
Jeez, what am I doing here among these people?
Right. Somebody want to get these wheelchairs out of my way?
It's about that bad right now. It really is. Speaking of which, that's maybe part of what has led us to some of the brilliant things that Joe Biden has said through the years. Now, some of these are pre-dementia, too. Some of the best ones are pre-dementia. He's just been butt stupid forever.
You're talking about Joseph Robinette Biden.
I am.
Okay.
I am. And we compiled the 20 dumbest / weirdest / gaffiest things he has said over the last, over his career.
So on this countdown, are we going
we're gonna
20 to 1?
Yes. We're starting at number 20.
And we're going to number 1.
And it sounds a little something like this.
And it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word. Jobs. Jobs. Jobs.
Jobs. 3 tiny little letters.
That's awesome.
And that's just number 20. And checking in at number 19 is this gem from many years ago. I think this was the 2008. Was it 2008 campaign? Maybe even prior to that, when he was talking about 1929 and FDR.
Part of what a leader does is to instill confidence, is demonstrate that he or she knows what they're talking about and communicates to people. If you listen to me and follow what I'm suggesting, we can fix this. When the stock market crashed, Franklin Roosevelt got on television and didn't just talk about the princes of greed. He said, "Look, here's what happened."
In 1929, when the market crashed, FDR was not the president of the United States, nor did he turn on a television because there weren't any.
He didn't say he turned down the television. He said he got on the television.
Got on the television. Okay, he didn't get on the television since there wasn't one to get on yet. Amazing. This is
incredible.
All the way up to 18 already on our countdown. Here's Joe Biden.
Don't jump. Don't jump.
Oh, my God.
Don't jump.
Don't jump.
I mean, is it worthy of top 20? It bugs me enough to be in the top 20.
It's such a stupid
man.
thing.
So stupid.
Don't jump. You look crazy enough to jump. Don't jump.
Oh, man.
You look crazy enough to jump.
Don't jump. Okay. Thank you for that. Then the single word that describes America is?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
I don't believe we ever got to the single word that describes America, but
outstandingly
fantastic.
Dumb.
Oh my gosh.
Just unbelievable.
Another favorite. We're all the way up to number 16 now.
You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests?
Yeah, he likes to pull that one out. He hasn't
does.
pulled that in a while, but he loves that Kevlar vest story.
He has used it multiple times. It was stupid the first time. It was stupid the last time.
I tell them, well, the deer wearing Kevlar vest now?
No, we don't think deer wear Kevlar vests.
Oh, you couldn't get a cannon. You need F-16s.
I might also add, I might not hit the deer on the first or second or third try. It might take me a few. So I'm going to be happy I had multiple bullets in the gun. And speaking of which,
My legislation says there can be no more than 8 bullets in a round. Okay.
There could be no more than 8 bullets in a round. Proving once again he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And none of these people who oppose guns do. No. None of them know what they're talking about. This is just a personal favorite. It just had to be in there.
Make sure we take their
number 15.
Take their ill-begotten gains.
Their ill-begotten.
We're going to accommodate them.
It's ill-gotten,
not
ill-begotten.
I think ill-begotten gains is still
We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy.
So it takes them a while to spit it out. All right, this is number 13, talking about patriotism and how you can show it.
Anybody making over $250,000 is going to pay more.
You got it. It's time to be patriotic, Kate. Time to jump in. Time to be part of the deal.
Wow. Okay. So the more taxes you're forced into paying, the more patriotic you are, I guess?
You got it. Time to jump in.
I didn't realize it's something that was mandatory, that you go to jail if you don't do it. I didn't realize that was a sign of patriotism. Did you know that?
Well,
interesting. All right. At number 12.
I got raised in the black church. He knows I'm not kidding.
Okay, so he got raised in the black church. Is that dumb, or is it a lie? Or is it both? Yes. It's a dumb lie.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Number 11. That one's just a stupid thing to say and a racist thing to say. There are many of those.
Oh, he is a racist fool, man.
For instance, more evidence of that at number 10.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
No, he's not joking. He's not joking.
I'm not joking.
He really is a racist sack of crap. He's not joking about that. At number 9 was this gem.
I've acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom. I know more than the vast majority of people. I'm more experienced than anybody who's ever run for the office.
Okay.
And I think I've proven myself to be honorable as well as also effective.
He's proven himself to be honorable? Joe rubbing at Biden? Oh, man, is that a dumb thing to say. Then he tried to recite, he's done this a couple of times. This was my favorite when he was discussing the Declaration of Independence.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Now, that brings us all the way up to number 7 on our list.
Doofus.
And here's number 7 on the Biden list of dumbest things he's ever said.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
To this day, no one knows why he did that, why he said that. What are you doing? Where did that come from?
We don't know that it was a joke to someone in the audience.
We don't know.
We don't know what the deal. On top of which, when he said it, the Queen was dead.
Yes.
We had a king.
The Queen was dead for months. I mean, months and months.
Yeah, I mean, there was a king. King Chuck has already been installed.
And you know he wasn't talking about the Queen consort or whatever they call her over there.
Nobody talks about Camilla.
In make-believe land from England. Whoa. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
You're a big royal family fan. I apologize. Then he took some time to be honest, but this is still stupid to say this about his organization.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Yeah, and they showed that they were the most extensive and most efficient. So you got that going for you. At number 5 is this gem that is beyond description weird.
I got hairy legs. that turn blonde in the sun.
Okay, in the sun.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Uh-huh.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Maybe that entire rant stays in your inside voice. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Such a weird dude, man.
So bizarre.
I mean, why would you even
I don't know.
say that?
Why the don't jump thing? Why the deer wearing Kevlar thing? Why
I got
the
hairy legs? I like when kids jump on my
kids
lap.
used to rub your legs up and down and watch the hair come back. Oh, that's so weird. So weird. At number 4 on the list.
I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can.
Okay, now that part, to me, is one of the dumbest things he's ever said. Because that's why it's at number 4. It's the first part of this, not the last part of this, that I take the most exception with. Because people looked at you like, why cure cancer? Listen to that. Listen to that again. I
said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer?
Who looked at you like, why cure cancer?
Well, I'm sure he was asked that.
Who do you know that thinks cancer is a good time? Cancer's too fun. Why would you cure cancer?
Cure cancer? What for?
What is the deal on that? That is so weird.
Because no one thinks we can.
Okay.
That's why, and we can.
And they can. We
We
can.
end cancer as we know it. Deliver on our sacred obligations to veterans.
Yeah, okay. They ended cancer as we know it.
Awesome.
Now, the White House later changed that for him, of course. They have to fix all of this stuff that he screws up.
Yeah, of course.
And at number 3.
Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up.
favorite.
Chuck, let him see you.
Oh, God love you.
What am I talking about?
What am I talking about? You're a
love
cripple.
that.
Chuck,
That
I forgot for a second.
Awesome.
Darn it.
That's in Missouri.
So
And
great.
Chuck Graham, stand up, Chuck.
It's brilliant.
He realizes Chuck is in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
That is so, embarrassing.
Stand up, Chuck.
Chuck, stand up. Oh, God bless you. Everybody stand up for Chuck.
At number 2.
That's awesome.
Is this gem similar to Stand Up Chuck?
Representative.
Only worse.
Jackie, are you here?
Jackie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think she was going to be here.
No, she was going to be there, but then she died 2 months prior to that. Jackie, are you here?
He works so hard on this.
Do we dig you up from the gravesite for wheel you in?
I mean, that is amazing.
It's not great.
His people have got to be just.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what you do with that. He's asking for the dead lady.
Yeah, he's
asking to talk to the dead lady.
For the dead lady.
He wants the dead lady to stand up. I mean, that's worse than the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's asking for the dead lady to stand up. Now the wheelchair,
which is why it was
happened
number
a
2.
number of years ago.
Yes,
Right.
Quite a
number
while.
of years ago. I mean, he was still.
But the Jackie thing just happened.
that's what I mean.
6 months or a year ago.
I mean, he was actually considered lucid at the time that he was looking for Chuck to stand up from the wheelchair.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll get to number 1 next.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
You know, it's no secret that we're in a culture war unlike anything this country's ever seen before. We fight every day in our schools for our children, our churches, for our morality and freedom of religion, in our politics, to keep the left from turning the land of the free into a Marxist society. Now it's time to also do the same thing with your finances. Constitution Wealth is a group of conservative financial managers that understand that even investing has become a battleground, and conservatives are losing it. Most conservatives' portfolios are currently funding the very morals and evils we fight against every day, but you don't have to do that any longer. You can have a successful investment experience without investing in and supporting companies that aid the tobacco industry, abortion, and other ideals that conflict with your core values. Financial decisions should be influenced by personal convictions, passions, and values. Then everything else falls into place. Constitution Wealth will support aligning your values with your financials because they understand that you can greatly increase your portfolio when investing by using your core values, not just numbers. They respect liberty and freedom, and they believe in helping people fulfill their God-given potential. Constitution Wealth, it's looking for like-minded people like you who are ready to invest and potentially change the financial landscape of America. Book a free consultation at constitutionwealth.com/Pat. All right, got some tweets here. Wellness guru Jeffy tweets, Congress is even worse than a Holland America cruise where 90% go around with oxygen tanks and walkers. I've never been on one of those, but sounds fascinating and fun.
Oh, yeah, fun.
Like out of control fun, right?
It's a party.
Caffeinated Texan, I don't see taxation as patriotic. Maybe I'm weird. Yeah, definitely, sure. Just an old guy with a mic. Dianne Feinstein looks like a character from the Dark Crystal movie. Retire already, Diane.
She definitely does now, man. Ooh.
Oh, my.
That clip that was in the cut there that we aired, that's back when she was still lucid.
Yeah.
And she was, not awesome then.
Yeah. Right. Right-wing conspiracist tweets, would someone please tell Trump to stop the revenge rhetoric if he gets reelected? What he must focus on is justice. Revenge is for a banana republic. All right, but it sure feels good to hear that.
Yes,
it does.
It
just kind of lights up my day. It lights up my life, but you're right. Ape tweets, I've never played with my own leg hair, let alone have children. I don't know. Do it. Well, Biden can't be real. Exactly.
First of all.
Exactly.
First of all, that's a lie.
What's a lie?
I'm playing with your own leg hair. Everyone has played with their own leg hair. That's a lie.
No. No.
Sorry.
I have never, to my, I can't remember a time I've ever played with my leg hair.
Yes.
No.
When you were a kid
Chris,
in the pool,
Lance,
whatever.
Nope. They haven't either. So it's just you, my friend.
Lie.
That is not why would
true.
You think that is widespread?
Because that's people do it. That's what you do.
No,
that's what you do.
No, not normal people.
So now I'm not normal.
Ta-da!
This
ding, ding,
is
ding,
Pat
ding,
Gray,
ding, ding.
Unleashed.
Let me take a minute for you to picture what it would be like if all of a sudden the global medication supply chain of antibiotics just disappeared right before our eyes.
That wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't. Why? Because most of our medication is manufactured in China or India. And you can bet they're going to take care of what they need first. And what if we ever have any disagreements with China? That'd be really hard to imagine, wouldn't it?
Would.
And they just cut us off? So what do you do if and when that happens? Well, the answer is the Jace case. Looks like this. It's awesome. You can get a flight of 5 separate antibiotics. And
oh, nice.
There you go. Yep. And it comes in that really handy case, and it comes with antibiotics that you can use to treat a long list of illnesses. Things like bacterial illnesses, UTIs, respiratory infections, sinus infections. We were just talking about leprosy the other day. I know that's cured with antibiotics now. If only they had that.
I know.
If only they had that back in the day. Oh, man. Things would be different. But it's a great way to get ready for shortages or for traveling. Just don't get caught unprepared. Go to jacemedical.com. Enter the promo code PAT at checkout. That's JASE, Jace Medical. Promo code PAT, jacemedical.com. Now, on with the countdown. On with the countdown. We're counting down the dumbest things Joe Biden has ever said. And number 1 is this, Jim.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy.
Nice-looking guy.
That's a storybook, man.
It's a storybook, man.
Such a racist.
Oh my gosh. We had how many examples right there? And I could have played a lot more. If this was about Biden's most racist comments, there would have been much, much more of that. But this was just his dumbest / weirdest comments. And you could throw in a little racism there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was chosen as vice president after saying that. Crazy.
It is amazing that Barack picked him as vice president.
It's amazing. And I don't think Barack Obama ever respected Joe Biden.
Certainly not. He never really liked him.
Didn't like him.
Certainly didn't look like it. I mean, he's already told him, right? Because Joe Biden asked him to not...
to endorse him.
To
not to
endorse him for presidency.
Yeah.
He wouldn't endorse him for president.
That's right.
And we're getting reports now that he talked to Biden a couple of months ago telling him that, you're probably going to lose to Trump. So, okay.
I mean, it's incredible.
And we saw him at the White House together when Barack just ignored him.
Yeah.
Multiple times. I mean, Joe is just Barack, and he's just ignoring him the entire time.
Kept touching him on the shoulder, and Obama wouldn't turn around. Like, get away from me, you gnat.
Right.
Fly.
Okay. I don't have my legs up. You don't have to worry about my hair on my legs, okay?
That's probably what he's going to ask him. Hey, Barack, do you want to rub the hair on my legs? Because when you push them down, they come back up.
Well, they do. Everybody knows that. That's why everybody does it.
That's why he loves kids sitting on his lap or something. I don't know. All right, let's get to the fabulous Fat Five.
All right, the Chewing the Fat Five. All right, let's knock it out. We have this as kind of like half. This doesn't count as a one. This is just a half. Just a reminder that Mega Millions tonight, $1.25 billion, 625.3 cash payout. So. Sorry about it. I mean, I hope you're happy for me when I win. So we'll just leave it at that. Number one, Barbenheimer. The internet is obsessed with mashing up the two big movies of the summer, and it helped, obviously boost the ticket sales for both Barbie and Oppenheimer. I mean, Barbie is ready to hit $1 billion pretty soon, and Oppie's going to be $500 million pretty soon. But there's one place where people are not amused. Japan. It opens in Japan on the 11th of this month, and U.S. social media accounts for the Warner Brothers Japanese social media users expressed their displeasure with seeing their national tragedy of the atomic bomb as part of a joke. The company's Japanese arm called on its U.S. parent to take action, and they did.
And they did?
And they bent the knee.
Okay.
They issued an apology. They deleted the post.
There it was, though. It's a pink mushroom cloud.
And they said, we regret its recent insensitive social media engagement, and we offer our sincere apology. But as usual, it's never enough because there's some people, it's just going to be impossible for me to watch Barbie now, or I just can't do it. I wish they would have said, tough.
Right.
Get over it. Maybe you shouldn't have attacked us.
Yeah, right.
I wish they would have said that.
Right. Too soon?
But no.
Too soon.
They didn't say that.
All right. No, they didn't say that.
Number two of the Fat Five. Fortune's Global 500 Top 10 Companies by Revenue list hit the market yesterday. Number 10, United Healthcare Group, $324 billion. No, don't worry about it. Number
$324 billion?
United Healthcare Group. That's number 10.
Wow.
Number 9, Shell, $386+ billion. Apple, number 8, dropping down to number 8 for revenue. $394+ billion.
Wow.
Apple is still
still valued at $3 trillion.
I think they're under $3 trillion now. $2.7 trillion. They're the most valued company, but they're not 3 anymore. Microsoft is $2.3 billion, right? Saudi Aramco is $2 trillion. Alphabet is $1.3 trillion. Amazon is $1 trillion, and the rest of the companies are all underneath that. Jeez. As far as worth. But Apple in their revenue was only $394+
How are they
billion
getting by?
I don't know. Number 7, ExxonMobil, $413+ billion. Number 6, Sinopec Group. That's a Chinese fossil fuel company. $471+ billion in revenue. Number 5, China National Petroleum. $483+ billion. Number 4, Amazon. $513+ billion.
Wow, jeez.
Number 3, oh look, another Chinese power company, State Grid, $530+ billion revenue. And number 2, Saudi Aramco, $603+ billion revenue. And number 1, for the 10th year in a row, Walmart. $611.3 billion in revenue. Saudi Aramco, though, is the most profitable. They had $159 billion in profits or something, man. Just amazing.
Man.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yes, it is. A lot of money. They also have a massive sovereign wealth fund, which just purchased all of golf, essentially.
And they're looking at purchasing all the top soccer players.
Yeah, they are.
Just come here and play.
Yeah.
Some of them said no, though. It's not around. Some of them said, no, we don't. I'm not going to come over there and do that.
One guy just turned down a $1 billion
the French
offer.
guy, right? Mbappe or whatever. Yeah, he said, no, not good.
Yeah, $1 billion.
Yeah, look, I
it's
understand
amazing.
How people can turn down that amount of money when it goes against what you believe.
Yeah, sure.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So the FISU World University Games is a student for student athletes is held every 2 years. This year it's being held in China. The race on Tuesday sparked a little outrage and accusations of nepotism. I kind of loved it, but others did not. The incident has resulted in the suspension of the chairwoman of the Somali Athletics Federation.
Oh, no.
After an untrained and non-athlete runner was sent to take part in the country's Ministry of Youth and Sports.
No. Wow.
They claim that she could also be subject to legal proceedings. Okay, she's accused of abuse of power, nepotism, and defaming the name of the nation. Yeah, you don't want to defame the name of Somalia. You don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
Not in the international arena. Don't do it. Now, the ministry said this woman in the race is not a runner. Duh. She was a relative of the woman, and the woman said, yeah, go ahead, you can run in the race. And the video is outstanding.
好成绩11秒55，个人最好成绩11秒48。
As you can see, number 4 is the non-runner, if you can't tell yourself. Oh, this is the build-up to the race. Here we go. There's the Somali runner right there. So good.
这都是11秒7上下能力的选手，而且梁俊怡呢，在亚锦赛也跑进过决赛，拿到过前8。
Heather, let's go.
On your mark.
亚锦赛上也拿到过奖
Get
牌。
set.
我们来看看这一枪的表现。
And go.
好的，选手出发。其实马莫现在
Okay. That's great. Look at that. And boom. Boom. And here.
Until 20 seconds later.
20 seconds?
I think it was 20, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
No, that's only about 10. 10 seconds.
That's funny.
That is right.
I don't care who you are. That's
that
funny.
Is right.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's funny.
Somalia represented wholeheartedly right there.
Yeah, that's great.
She's in big trouble for doing that.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, she's done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fat 5, number 4. The Boston mayor, you know her, you love her, Michelle Wu, announced that she has now banned fossil fuels in new city-owned buildings after teaming up with the city's director of the Green New Deal.
Is that even legal?
Well, it's an executive order that she announced in a press release that's going to eliminate the use of fossil fuels in new construction and major renovations of city buildings. I mean, I don't know that we're going to use electric cranes and electric construction vehicles when we're building these buildings. I mean, I don't know. The goal, though, Pat, is accelerating climate action by requiring that all new municipal buildings and major renovations operate without fossil fuels. Okay, we're going to reduce emissions from Boston's building sector while creating high-quality jobs, improving public health and quality of life, and advancing racial and economic justice. So,
thank heaven.
How about that?
That's incredible.
All new buildings in the city must be planned, designed, and constructed using non-combustion for cooking, HVAC, and hot water apparatuses. I mean,
what?
I don't even know.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So we'll see if that even
if it's doable.
Happens. Yeah,
it's not.
I don't believe that it is. And here on the Fat Five, number 5. Yesterday, when you were off, I talked about playing a number of characters for this network because I was lamenting that no one has asked me to play Lizzo yet. And I don't know that I want that to happen, but it could. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
I've been the fattest man in the world. I've been Hillary Clinton a couple of times.
Yes.
I've been Glenn Beck.
Right.
And I've been Chris Christie.
Okay.
And, when Chris Christie entered the race, I don't know, a couple months ago now or a month and a half ago or something like that ago, people asked me, hey, you played Chris Christie, where's the video? And it wasn't around. It was nowhere to be found. When you go to the YouTube link, it was taken away. It was down. And so YouTube didn't take it down. I think it was just because it was part of a show that's no longer up and on anymore on this network. I think the guy that did it is still around. The show was called Wonderful World of Stu. And so I think he's still around, but just not that particular show. And so I went back and found it. Well, I should say I had Clayton, our video guru here at the network, who's in charge of the archives, go back and found my Chris Christie commercial from back in 2013. Remember, this was right after his hug fest with Barack after Superstorm Sandy. And I was honored.
Well, then this would have been 2012, right? Because
we did this ad was in 13 though. The date on the video was 2013.
Okay.
But I guess you're right. Right, that was when Superstorm Sandy was right. Anyway, I was
because it happened before the election, and it swung.
It sure
votes to Obama.
It sure did because they had their big hug fest.
Yep.
So I was honored to be able to play Chris Christie.
Sure you were.
And I'm a little disappointed I didn't win any awards for it, but I was honored to play Chris Christie.
I spent a lot of my life searching for my perfect match. I tried the bar scene, the restaurant scene, the buffet scene, but I wasn't finding that special connection. Where could I find the perfect person for me? I wanted to make a connection with someone who was as hungry for power as I am for cheesesteak. And that's when I matched with Barry on eHarmony. Our first date, he took me to a dinner, a Springsteen concert, a second dinner, a romantic stroll past a coal power plant while we threw flaming bags of poo in the windows. And then, a nightcap. A third dinner, pre-breakfast, double brunch. I was looking for someone who wasn't afraid to spend a lot of money, mainly on food. Someone who treated frugality like it was Ebola. I needed someone with the courage to lie about how good they were in sports, even though it was obvious they were as coordinated as a drunken toddler. But they had to know how to get to second base. Because my moobs aren't going to fondle themselves. That's my Barry. Our connection is deep, like the pizza at Pizzeria Uno's.
Very sexy.
Thank you.
And he's so cool, like the ranch on Taco Bell's Cool Ranch Locos Tacos. He's not like the other guys. He likes everything big. Big government, big deficits, big me. I'm Chris Christie, and I'm in love with Barack Obama. And I met him on eHarmony.com. Ooh, pass the cheese whiz.
I love the shirt coming undone at the bottom.
I mean, that's Emmy material right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
no
Emmy award winning right there.
Sure
I didn't
is.
win one, but yeah.
But hey, just to be nominated is
I wasn't nominated.
It's an honor enough, isn't it?
It would have been.
It would
have been. Yeah.
It would have been. Right.
That's the Fat Five, Chewing the Fat.
And there it is.
You should subscribe to my daily show, Chewing the Fat, by the way. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, every day we hear about another familiar brand selling out their customers and going woke. Americans are sick and tired of having leftist propaganda jammed into every product we consume. Woke mobile companies are no different. In fact, they're some of the worst offenders. For years, they've been dumping millions into liberal causes. And we just had to take it because you need a cell phone. But there's Patriot Mobile now. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer dependable nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. So you get the same coverage that you've been accustomed to in your area, minus the left-wing propaganda. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat or call 878-PATRIOT. Get free activation today when you use the offer code PAT. Ask about their coverage guarantee, too, while you're there. You get the same dependable coverage, and you can take a stand for your values. Make the switch today. PatriotMobile.com/Pat or 878-PATRIOT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, we can talk more. I mean, Donald Trump was indicted yesterday, went before the judge. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. He's bummed out. It shouldn't have happened. He's pissed at the judge for calling him Mr. Trump. I got it. Okay.
He wants to be called what? Mr. President?
Lord Trump.
Okay.
He wants to be called Lord Trump, I think.
King Trump. Mm-hmm.
And so we have all that. But we have an Al Sharpton clip. And Al is, he shows just exactly what a guy he is.
Well, yeah.
What a guy he is. Now, he's on MSNBC, which I think is the only network that allows him on anymore. And he was on, the clip says it's on Morning Joe, but Joe and Mika aren't there, so they must be on vacation off gallivanting.
Was he filling
in the
in?
Islands. No, there were other people at the desk. I don't think they let Al fill
I wouldn't think so.
They still claim on this clip that he's host of Politics Nation, so I guess he still has a show somewhere on MSNBC.
I think it's on Sunday nights.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I'll be sure.
Be sure to check in.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But this clip of Al is talking about the indictments against Trump prior to him going before the judge. This was a couple days ago.
All right.
You know, I thought about this as I was looking through the indictment last night, and I grew up and started my activism in a section of Brooklyn called Brownsville. And walking to the subway many mornings, some of the guys in the neighborhood would say, "Rev, I caught a case." I have never walked down that block and somebody said, "I caught 3 cases." I mean, this is just as low as it gets. I've never heard of 3 cases on one individual in 3 jurisdictions. So this is serious. But on the other side of it, one day our children's children will read American history. And can you imagine our reading that James Madison or Thomas Jefferson tried to overthrow the government so they could stay in power? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at American history, and how it will play out is going to be very important. The sad part about this to me is that this is not a man that is facing all this because he believed in a political position or political policy or cause. Yeah. I've seen people go down the wrong side for a cause. This is all about him.
Like you?
This is narcissism with steroids. And to think that he could get this whole country divided and split and commit these crimes and have others commit crimes off his own self-aggrandizement is as sick as it gets.
Offer him self-aggrandizement. Wait, what? What did you say, Al? I said self-aggrandizement. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Why was traffic problems email sent? Why? Was it for the self-aggrandizement? Maybe we finally got the Christie answer as we're talking about Donald Trump and his self-aggrandizement.
Oh, my.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Right.
No, I don't think that. I don't know anybody who's fallen out of a coconut tree. Do you? Have you ever met a person?
I have not met a person that's fallen out of a coconut tree.
I
mean,
I know people who've fallen out of a turnip truck, but
Absolutely.
I've never seen them fall out of a coconut tree.
they're protesting. They're protesting Whole Foods for selling coconut milk.
Are they? Why?
Yeah, coconut milk because the monkeys in the coconut trees.
They forced the monkeys to go up and get the coconuts.
Yeah, so I mean, monkeys are falling out of coconut trees.
So great,
but that's all I know about
they probably stopped selling it, didn't they? Because I remember, who was it? There was a group that had a problem in the 2000s with Whole Foods because they were selling live lobster. And do you know the pain and anguish that go into transporting lobster that are alive from the sea to the store? No, you don't know because nobody knows. They can't tell us. But because
you can only imagine. You can imagine, though.
People complained, and I guess he stopped selling them. I don't know if they restarted or whatever, but yeah, they.
I mean, how would you like to be dropped into a boiling bucket of water?
I wouldn't. You know, there's a story about a frog that I tell from time to time. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't involve lobsters because you put the lobster in there, it's going to stay in no matter what. But That's frog,
true.
Frog will hop right on out. Okay, if you turn up the heat too fast, it jumps out. What you have to do is heat it up slowly. Then they're like, this feels good, and then pretty soon they're dead.
That's not the story.
It's also not true.
It's not the story.
They too will jump out when the water gets too hot. I don't even know why that's a thing. All right. We've got overtime coming up. Have a great weekend. We'll see you right back here on Monday.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.